Hey, this is Jason Lloyd. A lot of you know that I'm a minister, and I'm always got my eye out for, how I can be of service to the Lord who bought me with a price. And, whenever you're out working, you always keep your ear open for opportunities to minister to somebody or to bless somebody. And that's just not as a minister, that's just me as a Christian, as a Jesus follower. I want people to be connected to him. Well, I had an interesting conversation just shortly ago, and I went out to this job maybe a month ago, and I met this little old man back at the property line where his property adjoins the property I was surveying. And he came back there in the woods with me, and I was showing him what was going on. He was asking me about his property line, and anyway, he ended up telling me, I was just talking with him, and he ended up telling me that he's ate up with cancer. And so back then, whenever the first time I'd met him, I'd ask him if I could pray for him, because I was a pastor, and you should have seen the look on his eyes. We're out in the woods, and thick with poison ivy and all this stuff, and his eyes just brightened up. And he said, and I asked him about his faith, and he said, well, my pastor's a son, or my son's a pastor rather. And I said, really? And I said, well, you're a Christian? And he's like, yeah. He said, I ain't worried about dying. I know where I'm going, and all this and that. And so I prayed for him, and we prayed together right there in the woods. And he was told me, he's like, well, this is the first time I've ever had prayer meeting in the woods before. And I said, well, it happens to me every now and then. But anyway, I came back today and had to come and check a shot. That's what surveyors do. If they see something suspicious, we want to go check and make sure things look all right. So anyway, I'd seen him in his backyard when I was walking by there. And anyway, I came back out here just a minute ago and asked him how he was feeling. And he told me that he was going in for surgery later this week, and that he had the doctors told him he had 25% chance of living. And he's an older gentleman, and so he's come to grips with what is going to happen inevitably. And he said that even if the surgery works, that he'll have maybe 5 years left to live. And it was just kind of sobering moment for both of us. And so I just looked at him, and I was like, you know what? I said, I really wish I had more time to get to know you a little better. I said, you seem like a real fine gentleman. And anyway, I said, I'm probably not going to be back up here to this project because it's out of town. But I just told him, I said, you know what? I said, whenever I get to heaven, I said, I want to look you up. And I said, we'll have plenty of time then to catch up and talk about things, won't we? And he said, yep. He said, why don't you do that? And he walked over and he just gave me a big hug. And anyway, it's just kind of touching and sobering. It could be depressing if you think that this life is the best thing there is and this is all we got. But I tell you, in the light of heaven and eternity and being in the presence of the Lord, this stuff here, we'll be all right. For Christians, this is the worst that it's going to be. Whatever we have to deal with, whether it's cancer or loss of a loved one or whatever, for Christians, this is the worst it's going to be. It's whatever we have to endure here on this earth. And one day the Lord's going to renew, and he's going to make a new heaven and a new earth and a new Jerusalem, and everything's going to be made new. And we'll not have to worry about the worries that we have here. But the flip side of that is for people who reject Jesus, and they even maybe like Jesus, a Jesus that's made up, that's not the Jesus of the Bible. For those that reject him and deny him and don't want anything to do with him, The sad thing is this is the best that it's going to be. Whatever they can amount and gather and accumulate and enjoy on this earth, this is the best it's going to be. And I just feel sorry for folks that are maybe just a little closed-minded to looking at the claims of Christ, because it's not just blind faith that Christians have. It's not just well-wishing or hopeful or whatever. I mean, there's actually some things to look at that make sense. And I believe that Christianity just really has a good explanation for how the world really is. So I'm just going to encourage you, I hope that you'll have the faith that Mr. Burrow did here in Christ. If you don't know where to begin, holler at me. My phone number and emails everywhere. If you have questions about Christianity, things that don't make sense or things you don't like about it that you want to talk about, you're not going to think of anything I hadn't thought about already and haven't wrestled with. So just reach out to me. There's an invitation for you. I'd love to. I've already been down the path that you're probably headed down or thinking, the line of thought that you are engaging in. Just holler at me. I would love to visit with you about that. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Maybe a little sobering Tuesday morning thought. All right. God bless you guys. Have a good day.